Hariom, the data mining and data warehousing course. We are currently discussing module 4. The module 4 is dealing with the clustering techniques. In the last class, we have discussed the basics of clustering. We have seen what is clustering, where clustering is used, then how to perform the cluster analysis, what are the different stages of clustering process, and what are the requirements of a clustering algorithm in data mining. Then we just started with the clustering paradigms. We have discussed different clustering techniques are there for data mining, and the clustering algorithms are used both for numerical data and categorical data. These are the different clustering algorithms available. And we have discussed the clustering algorithms differ in the ability to handle different types of attributes, like some algorithms are used for numeric data, other algorithms are used for categorical data, and some of the algorithms are used both for numerical as well as categorical attributes. And they also differ in the accuracy of clustering. So some clustering algorithms give you 90% accuracy, some gives you 96% accuracy, and some of the algorithms may give only 60 to 70% accuracy, etc. So based on the accuracy also the algorithms differ, and based on how they are going to handle the disk resident data, because the transaction database will be generally a very large database. So the large database may not be accommodated in the primary memory altogether, and generally this will be partitioned. So some data will be available in the primary memory and the rest of the data will be available in the secondary storage device, which is your disk. So how the clustering algorithm will be handling the disk resident data to group the collection of data objects. And for clustering, there are two major approaches for the numerical data. One is the hierarchical clustering, the other one is called as partitioning clustering or partitional clustering. So these are the algorithms we will be discussing in our syllabus. So based on the partitional algorithm, we will be talking about K-Medoids and Clarence and Clara. Then based on the hierarchical clustering, we will be talking about the Diana and Agnes. The base idea we will be discussing here. Then for the density based clustering, we will be talking about DBSCAN. So these are the algorithms that are included in our syllabus. Now all of us know that clustering is basically a technique of grouping similar data points. So this is very important, grouping the similar data points such that the points in the same group are more similar to each other than the points in the other groups. So that is what we have seen in the clustering. What is clustering we have discussed. So the collection of data objects must be similar to one another within the same cluster, but it must be dissimilar to the objects in the other cluster. So that is what is defined here in the clustering. Clustering is basically a technique of grouping similar data points such that the points in the same group are more similar to each other than the points in the other groups or other clusters. So the group of similar data points is what you call as a cluster. So if I have this kind of unclustered data, this is your original unclustered data, we will use any of the clustering algorithm so that the algorithms will be grouping the data something like this. So here the unclustered data has been clustered into 3 clusters. So this blue color forms first cluster and this one will be the second one and this becomes the third cluster. So this is how the clustering happens in the clustering process. Now, when you take the clustering can be performed on both numerical as well as on the categorical data. When we do the clustering process, for example, you may be grouping the customers based on the location. You may be grouping the customers based on the age group, grouping the customers based on the income, right? So suppose, say for example, if you have a supermarket transactions database, and from this transaction database you want to find out who are the customers to whom you want to give some offers, right, or some kind of discounts. So for which you want to do cluster the customers who are coming from a particular location, or who are coming from the what do you call, who are all in the same age group, or who are all in the same designation, like that. You want to group people, then based on these groupings you want to make some kind of a marketing. So if this is the case, you may be grouping based on the age group, then it becomes the numerical attribute clustering. Or you may be grouping the customers based on their location or based on their designation, etc. Then it becomes the categorical grouping, because the attribute which you use as the base for clustering is numerical or categorical. So, but if I am using the numerical attribute for clustering the numerical data, geometric properties can be used, and these geometric properties will be using the distance value between the points. So you can easily calculate the distance between point 1 and point 2. Or let me put it this way, you can calculate the distance between the age of the first customer and the age of the second customer. So when you calculate the age between these two customers, suppose if the first customer is 25 and the second customer is also 25, when you find out the distance between them, 25 minus 25 becomes 0. So since the distance is very minimum, then you can put them in the same cluster. So that is what we call as the distance between the points. So calculating the distance between the data points is easily done on the numerical data. So you have lots of geometrical properties which can be used for calculating the distance between them. So age, salary, these are all some of the numerical attributes on which clustering can be performed. Or we can go for the categorical data also. Say for example, if I take the designation, color, red, blue, green, pink, orange, etc., or the texture, or the gender like male and female, these are some of the categorical attributes. So for these categorical attributes, distance function is not at all defined. And not only that, this kind of criterion based on categorical value does not exist. The kind of distance function does not exist, and it is very hard to find the ordering or quantify the dissimilarity of the categorical data. If you take the age, you will be having a particular ordering, so you can have grouping like the range 20 to 25, or the range like 40 to 60, like that. You can have some kind of ordering on the numerical data. But if you take the categorical data, the categorical data will not have any kind of ordering. Suppose if you take color as the categorical data, you will have red, blue, green, yellow, orange. So there is no order for this particular categorical data. Or if you take designation, then you may have manager, senior manager, junior manager, accountant, then like auditor, then you may have principal, you may have like teacher, HOD, like that. If you have this kind of categorical data, obviously there is no ordering for this categorical data. And if you since you don't have ordering for the categorical data, quantifying means giving some numerical value to these attributes is very, very difficult. So this is what categorical and numerical data on which the clustering can be performed. So some clustering algorithm is capable of doing the clustering process based on the numerical data, and some will perform the clustering based on the categorical data, and some of the algorithms is capable of doing both numerical and categorical. So by the time what it will do, the categorical data will be converted into some numerical data. So what you will do, like if I have the colors red, blue, green, yellow, orange, then I will give numerical value for each and every color. Then this numerical value will be taken into consideration for finding the distance between the data, so that it can be performed as the numerical clustering process. Okay, so this is another idea behind the clustering algorithms. So since we have numerical and categorical data which can be used for clustering process, the two main approaches for clustering we have seen. One is the hierarchical clustering, the other one is partitioning clustering. Let us see what is hierarchical clustering now. Hierarchical clustering is one of the very popular and easy to understand clustering technique, and here the hierarchical scheme will form a nested grouping of patterns. That is what it is going to do. It will be doing the clustering sequentially, and it will have the nesting process of grouping the patterns. So hierarchical decomposition of a given data set. So you will have the data set, and these data set will be decomposed into clusters, and this will be done in a sequence of partitions, and each partition is nested into next partition in the sequence. Right, we'll be discussing how it is being done, but the point here is hierarchical decomposition. I will just show you the diagram. So this is what you mean by decomposition. So this is your entire data set, and this entire data set is now divided into A and B, C, D, E, F. Then again B, C, D, E, F is again divided into B, C and D, E, F. Then again BC is divided into BC alone, DE is divided into DE alone, and DEF is divided into DEF. So this is what you call as sequence partitions, and each partition is nested into the next partition in sequence. So that is what happens here. In sequence it goes, right? So the decomposition is done in sequence. So this is decomposed into 2, and this is again decomposed into 2, and this is again decomposed into 2, and so on, right? So that is what happens in the hierarchical decomposition. It is going to do a sequence of partitions, and each partition is nested into the next partition in sequence, and it creates hierarchy of clusters. That is why we call it as hierarchical clustering, right? So when you see this diagram, it looks like a hierarchy, right? So this is decomposed into 2, and this is decomposed into 2, like that, right? So this is going to create hierarchy of clusters from small to big or from big to small. So if you have all the objects or the data points in the same cluster, then you start decomposing it. Then from big to small, it becomes big to small. Or if you are going to have each item separately and then you start grouping them together, then it becomes small to big, right? So if it is small to big, we will be doing the merging process, whereas if it is big to small, we will be doing the splitting process, correct? So the merging which is done from the smallest data points to big clusters, we call it as agglomerative clustering process. And from big to small, if you do the splitting or decomposition, then we call it as divisive clustering process. So these are the two types of hierarchical clustering. One is agglomerative, the other one is divisive. Two types of hierarchical clustering. So agglomerative is nothing but from small to big we go for merging. So what happens here? These are all small data points and each data point will be merged together to get the clusters. Whereas divisive is nothing but from big to small. So what happens? From the entire data points, we start decomposing it into smaller ones. We call it as divisive approach. So here in this direction, which is top to bottom, we will have the splitting process or the decomposition, whereas from bottom to top, in the bottom up approach, and this is top down, so from the bottom up we will be merging smaller data points to get the clusters. So this is agglomerative hierarchical clustering, this way bottom up, divisive hierarchical clustering top down. So if you have 7 data points, then if you start merging the data points based on some kind of similarity attributes, then we will have the agglomerative hierarchical clustering. Whereas if you have all the 7 data points here in a single cluster, then you are going to decompose them into smaller clusters, then we call it as divisive hierarchical clustering. So agglomerative is nothing but a bottom up approach, and it starts with as many clusters as there are records, with each cluster having only one record. Suppose imagine if I have 7 data points, each data point will be in a separate cluster. So that is what it says. It starts with as many clusters as there are records, with each cluster having only one record, and it starts with each object forming a separate group, or you call it as cluster, and then we merge the objects or groups. So here I call it as objects and here I call it as group. So you merge the objects or groups close to one another until the number of clusters are reduced to k. So that means initially I am going to decide I am going to create k clusters. So until you get k number of clusters, we will go for the merging process. Or sometimes you may be giving a terminating condition also, saying that if a particular cluster is having maximum 100 points, then we are going to stop the clustering. So that can also be one of the terminating condition. So merging the objects or groups close to one another or similar to one another until number of clusters reduced to k, or until the terminating condition is met, is what you call as agglomerative clustering process. And Agnes is one of the very popular algorithm that does the agglomerative hierarchical clustering. So this is agglomerative. So I have this many number of data points. Each data point is now in the separate cluster. Then you start merging the cluster. So I get D and E are similar, so I am going to put them together. B and C are together, so you put them together. Then we find D and F are similar, so I put it here in the separate cluster. Then I go for merging these two. I get B, C, D, F. Then I will be merging them until I get all the items in the same group, or you have any terminating condition, or you have the k number of clusters created, right? So this is just shows you how the agglomerative clustering is happening, but where to stop the clustering, whether you want to stop the clustering here, or you want to stop the clustering here, or you want to stop the clustering here, it depends completely on how you're going to define the terminating condition. So the next one is the divisive algorithm. Agglomerative we have discussed. The next one is divisive. So the divisive algorithm is nothing but it uses the top-down approach, and it starts with all objects in the same cluster. All the objects in the same cluster. You can see here this direction. In the divisive, it is bottom up. It is bottom up approach, and in the agglomerative it is bottom up approach, whereas in the divisive it is top down, right from all the objects in the same cluster and down we go. So it is top down approach, and it starts with all objects in the same cluster. That is what we have seen, all the objects in the same cluster, and in each successive iteration a cluster is split up into smaller cluster until each object is in one cluster or termination condition is reached, right? So your termination condition can be how many number of clusters, or you can say what can be the maximum number of objects in one particular cluster. Like that you can define any terminating condition. So Diana is one of the very popular algorithm for the divisive hierarchical clustering. Where hierarchical clustering, if you observe, they build a cluster tree, right? So that is what it is doing. Here also it is building a cluster tree, and here also it is building a cluster tree. So this is in this particular direction from bottom to top, and here top to bottom, or top down. Hierarchical clustering is building a cluster tree, and this tree is what we call as dendrogram. We call it as dendrogram, and this dendrogram cluster tree is used to represent the data where each group or node links to two or more successor groups. So that is what happens here, right? So we have seen it here in this example also. This is the dendrogram, and this is the dendrogram which you call as the cluster tree. So if you see the cluster tree, they are representing the data where each group, each node here, this node, this node, this node, each node links to two or more successor groups. And we can say hierarchical decomposition can be represented as dendrogram. This is not tendo, it is dendrogram. And the dendrogram is a type of tree diagram in the hierarchical clustering, showing relationships between the similar sets of data. So if I have this dendrogram, G and these data are related. Or if I have a cluster tree like this, so this node says B and C are related, and this node says A, B, C are related. So the dendrogram is a type of cluster tree in the hierarchical clustering that shows the relationships between the similar sets of data. So please make a note of it. This is not tendo, this is dendrogram. Please update. This is also dendrogram, and this is also dendrogram. So the groups are nested and organized as a tree, which ideally ends up as a meaningful classification scheme. So each node in the cluster tree contains a group of similar data. And if you observe each node here, right? So if you take the entire objects, they will have some set of similarity. Or again, if you divide the objects like this, right? So H and I are somewhat related, J and K are somewhat related, E and F are somewhat related. So that is what the point says. Each node in the cluster tree contains a group of similar data. Now each circle here is represented as a node in this dendrogram, correct? So each node in the tree contains a group of similar data, and the groups are nested and organized as a tree, which ideally ends up as a meaningful classification scheme. So this shows a meaningful classification scheme, and this is how they are grouped together. So each of these circle is represented as a node in this dendrogram. Now the disadvantage of the hierarchical clustering is once a merging or splitting is done, it cannot be undone. That is one of the disadvantage of hierarchical clustering. So once you have split the data or once you have merged the data, we cannot undo that particular process, or if you want to undo, obviously there is some error happened in your clustering, right? So that error cannot be corrected in the hierarchical clustering. That is the disadvantage of hierarchical clustering. So that's it about the hierarchical clustering. So the point to be noted here is what is hierarchical clustering, and the two types of hierarchical clustering are agglomerative and divisive. So just say what is agglomerative and divisive. Then you should also talk about what do you mean by a cluster tree or a dendrogram. Then the disadvantage of hierarchical clustering. So that is it about the hierarchical clustering. Let us see what is partitional clustering in the next video. Thank you.